Hi everyone, welcome to Better Reading. This is What Are You Reading? And I'm Natalie. I think a few of you are now familiar with me. I obviously work here, and Cheryl and Jane aren't here today, so it's me on my own. But I hope I do a good job and everything will go smoothly. So you know how it works. I'll tell you what we're reading, and you tell me what you're reading, and I'll read out your comments. Very excited to chat with you all today. So I'm going to start off with our book of the week. You would have seen a few posts from this on Facebook. We've got Lola in the Mirror by Trent Dalton. We all love Trent here in the office, and I know many of you do as well. This is the much anticipated new release from Trent. It's a big, sweeping, heartfelt journey about a young creative girl on the run and living rough. So much to explore here. I don't want to give too much away because it's such a compelling read, but our review is on our website as well as an extract if you want to just get a sneak peek and see what it's all about before you go and buy it. But highly recommend Lola in the Mirror as well as Trent's other books. So, hi everyone. Better reading. What are you reading? And I'm going to read out your comments. So send them through. Let me know what you're reading. Wendy says, good afternoon. Hi, Wendy. Carolyn says, hello, I read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which is such a fantastic book. I absolutely loved it. Carolyn says it's a good look at the publishing industry and very readable, but she felt it was too long and started to repeat itself, which is fine. I guess we're all entitled to our opinions. I guess working in the publishing industry, I thought this was a fantastic novel, and I really liked sort of the insight it gave. Carolyn also says she's reading Homecoming by Kate Morton. She's such a marvelous writer. We definitely agree, and she thought it was an excellent novel. Malvina says, hi, Natalie. She just finished Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. Great read. Sharon says, hi. Hi, Sharon. Christine, hi, Christine. She's looking forward to reading the new Trent Dalton book. So I'll just mention that again in case you missed it. Lola in the Mirror by Trent Dalton, his new release. It's much anticipated, and everyone's been looking out for it. Big, sweeping, heartfelt journey. Check it out if you haven't. Jill says, hello. Jessica says she's just finished reading The Wakes by Diane Yarwood and has just started One by One by Ruth Ware. Both fantastic reads. Alita is reading Cold-Blooded Liar by Karen Rose. Good read. Sharon says she's reading The Chasm by Bronwyn Hall. And Laloni is reading Did You Miss Me by Karen Rose. Okay, let me know what you're reading in the comments, and I'm going to continue with some other ones. I only have a proof of this, but the cover is fantastic, so go and check it out if you haven't. This is Eden Glassy by Melissa Lukashenko. Fantastic writer. If you're familiar with her work, I'm sure most people are. She's fantastic. This is a must-read new release. She's the Miles Franklin winner of Too Much Lip. So if you're not familiar with Melissa Lukashenko, I'm sure you've heard of Too Much Lip. So check that one out if you haven't. This is a sweeping dual timeline historical fiction. It's heart-wrenching, hopeful, and hilarious. On our Facebook page, we've got Melissa talking about the book, so go and check that out if you haven't. But there's also an extract video of her reading an extract from the book. So that will be coming out on Facebook soon, so keep an eye out for that. Another one I wanted to mention is Melissa Ashley's The Naturalist of Amsterdam. This is a historical fiction from the author of The Bee and the Orange Tree, which I think this is just a proof, or it's, nope, this is the, no, it is a proof, but very similar covers, beautiful covers in the same vein. What else do we have? It's about the untold stones and contributions of women who shaped our scientific understanding of the natural world in the 18th century. I haven't read this one yet, but the person who did is raving about it, so it's on my TBR list, and I recommend that you add it to yours if you haven't already. Let's see some more comments. Okay, where are we up to? Emma says, hello. Hi, Emma. Janine says she's just read The Things That Matter Most by Gabby Stroud. Great read. I read that one. It was very, very, very compelling. A lot of layers to it, very deep. and I definitely recommend that one. Yvonne is reading Chris Hammer's The Seven. That has been really popular with so many people. I think it's on the bestseller list. Yeah, really, really, really interesting one. If you haven't got that on your TBR pile, that's Chris Hammer's latest one. I know that everyone here is a big fan of Chris Hammer. Jill Wright is about to start Two Wars and a Wedding by Lauren Willing. Wendy is presently reading White Noise by Mercedes Mercier, and also Weekends with the Sunshine Gardening Society by Sophie Green. That's a really popular book, and also on my TBR pile. As you can tell, I have a very large TBR pile. Working here means I am reading a lot of books for work, but yeah, so my leisure TBR pile keeps growing, and I keep hearing about so many great books. Jill is about to start Two Wars. Oh, whoops, I already read that one. Emma is currently reading Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. So fun and sexy. I have to check that one out. I haven't heard of that one yet. Meredith is halfway through Victoria Perman's A Woman's Work. It is the second book of hers that she's read. She has a fantastic backlist, so continue reading some of her books if you haven't already, Meredith. Rachel is reading Back on Track by Tricia Stringer. That is a great read, and everyone is loving it. Tricia Stringer on our page has actually been promoting our What Are You Reading merch, wearing that around during her promotion for Back on Track. If you can see over here, we've got the notebook, and on this side, we've got the mug. If you haven't checked out our What Are You Reading merchandise, it's great, especially with the upcoming gift-giving seasons. And all of our white tee V-necks are 30% off. So go and have a look, have a browse. If you have any book lovers in your life, or if you want to treat yourself to a nice little gift, go and get the What Are You Reading merch. We'll put the link in the comments soon. Barb is reading Tough the Clouds by Peter Watt. Cheryl finished reading The Lovely Back on Track as well by Tricia Stringer, and is back to reading Lessons in Chemistry by Budding Armas. I think the TV show comes out tomorrow. I think that's here in Australia. It's tomorrow. So when you finish reading that, Cheryl, or since you've already read it, go and watch the TV show if you're into that as well. Speaking of TV show adaptations of books, I recently watched Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid on Prime, and I thought it was a fantastic, fantastic adaptation. I'm saying that even though I haven't read Daisy Jones and the Six, but I've heard it's a great adaptation. I love the TV show, and I mean, I want to ask you all, do you prefer to read a book and then watch the movie, or vice versa? I personally prefer to watch something before I've read it, because I find that sometimes it can be a letdown if it's the other way around. But if I watch something, usually the book always has more information. So I find it actually elevates the story to read and get more insight into the story if I love the TV show or the movie. So that's my 2 cents, but let me know what you prefer in the comments. Another one of Taylor Jenkins Reid is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I recently finished this one. It took me a while to get through, but had so many layers, and if you really go into it and read it with some understanding and depth, and even if you don't, if you just enjoy it as the story it is, has a lot of layers to it, and I love Taylor Jenkins' writing. So I think Daisy Jones and the Six is going to the top of my TBR pile, just because I just finished the show and really want to stay in that world a little bit longer. What else do I have on my list? We've got Code Red by Vince Flynn, but also written by Kyle Mills. So Vince Flynn actually passed away, and his Mitch Rapp series was very popular as he was writing it. He was self-published, I think at the beginning, and then he got so much attention, and then he got a book deal straight away, and he's been writing all these political thrillers. But he passed away, and Kyle Mills has taken over and has written Code Red. It's a Mitch Rapp novel. This one can be read as a standalone, but I mean, there are so many books in this series, you can go back and read them all. So this is book number 22 in the series, but yeah, like I said, it can be read as a standalone, but if you just want a nice, good series to read, there's 22 novels. It's a high-octane political thriller written by Kyle Mills. Yeah, so depending on if that's your genre or not. I mean, I didn't read this one. I read one of the other ones in the series. I'm usually not much of a fan of that genre, but this was very surprising. And so I'm going to read this one as well. So let's see more of your comments. Okay. Sally just finished reading Dreaming in French. I think that's by Vanessa McCausland. Fantastic. Happy Valley Books read. Just finished reading Sisters Under the Rising Sun. Segue for that one. It's going to pop up on the screen. We had the fantastic Heather Morris record a podcast episode with Cheryl on our Stories Behind the Story podcast. We'll put the link in the comments if you want to go and listen to that great conversation. Heather also joined me a few weeks ago for this What Are You Reading segment. So if you're not familiar, I'm sure you'll be familiar with the rest of her books, The Tattooist of Auschwitz and Silka's Journey. Fantastic books, and Sisters Under the Rising Sun is fantastic. Talks about a slice of history in World War II that has been left out. So go and listen to that conversation. It's very enlightening. Do we have any other podcasts? Yes, we do. We've got Love Match by Claire Fletcher. That podcast conversation is also out now. Lots of layers to that. They talk about the journey to writing, journalism, and how she writes rom-coms and Love Match. Happy Valley Books read said Daisy Jones' book and TV show are brilliant, so I guess I'm going to have to definitely read the book then. Christine reads the book and then the movie. Jessica reads the book before watching the movie or TV show. Yep. Evelyn Hugo is her favourite Taylor Jenkins Reid novel. I thought it was a fantastic one as well. Sharon reads the book and then watches the show. Malvina usually reads the book before the movie or TV series. It works for her, and that's completely fine. I've definitely done that in the past because, especially if I've, such as Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I've read that book, and if a movie comes out for it, I'll definitely be watching that as well. Jill says book first. Carolyn also reads the book first and then sees the movie or TV show. Rita is reading Sophie Green's Weekends of the Sunshine Gardening Society. It's heartwarming, easy read with some wisdom that resonates. Great review. Meredith is a great fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid books, her books, and reads several and plans on reading the rest. Emma says she was very lucky and met Heather Morris at her work. She's lovely. She is lovely. I met her as well, and I'm glad you got to have that experience, Emma. Wendy says she has Heather Morris's latest book ready to read soon. She's read all her other books. Okay, so I want to talk about, if you love rural romance, as you will know, Jane and Cheryl went to Tamworth earlier this year for the When Love Comes to Town. Rachel Johns was there and a few other authors, and now they're back for When Love Comes to Lismore. So we'll have these three authors. I'm just going to put them next to each other. We've got one on the screen. We've got Lucy Lever, Alyssa Callan, and Rachel Johns. They'll all be there in Lismore, and so if you're there, go and get your tickets. I hear the event is almost sold out, so if you haven't gotten your tickets, go and do that as soon as possible. Tickets are free, but bookings are essential. There are lucky door prizes, games throughout, and you'll also get to meet the authors and Cheryl and Jane. That's on the 26th of October. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. for a 7 p.m. start. So like I said, it's free, but bookings are essential, and it'll be a great night. Grab your girlfriends, have a girls' night out. That'll be a fun one. What else did I want to talk about? Our top 50 kids books was revealed a few weeks ago. We had the fantastic Craig Silvey with us to beam in for this What Are You Reading, to talk about it. Craig is the first author to ever have the top #1 spot on both our top 100 list, which he had Honeybee, and Runt, which is on #1 on the top 50 kids list. So a fantastic achievement for Craig, and he's very deserving of this title and this award. And we look forward to seeing what he delivers next. But if you want to see our top 10 books, Dex will put that on the screen now as well. You can check out. We've got a fantastic list. Raise the Green Sheep, Harry Potter, Gruffalo, Very Hungry Caterpillar, BFG, Wolf Girl, Are We There Yet?, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and the obviously popular Treehouse series by Andy Griffiths and Terry Denton. So much to talk about there. Love the top 50 kids. I worked on that this year. and lots of classics for us adults, but also it's nice to sort of pass on the baton to younger children to sit there and read that as well. Some of our favorites and also some new ones that we might discover. Okay, what else have we got? Wendy has Heather Morris's latest book. Emma says that it's such an incredible achievement for a wonderful author in his works. I'm assuming that's about Craig. It definitely is. We love Honeybee and the rest of his backlist, and Runt is fantastic. I know so many adults love Runt as well as children alike, so you can't really go wrong there. I think that's all on my desk today, and that's what we've been reading here. And thank you for sharing what you've been reading and for having me on the segment today. Hopefully next week we'll be back with Cheryl and or Jane, and that'll be a fun one. But yeah, don't forget merch for any upcoming gifts. I know that gift giving season is coming up and approaching. And Lismore event, the link is in the comments if you want to go to that as well. Bookings are essential. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time, and thanks for having me on and sharing what you're reading.